Welcome all to the Ausmerican podcast. Today we have a very unique and very awesome selection of guests. Today we have Seth in Colorado, who is an entrepreneur all across the world right now. And we have Don, who is also a cannabis expert and a cannabis connoisseur. And we're going to be going into detail on that. Cue the music.
It does get around, doesn't it? 400 a month now.
Want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. And welcome, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your space and for the booze as well. Dude, how's everybody doing? How you guys doing? Feeling good?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
So, you have a deep-seated fascination with film Annihilation. Why is that? Why is that you have to see this film out of all of the films? Because you know it went directly to Netflix, like...
Oh, yeah,
like,
no.
It didn't make any cash. Like, it bombed.
I mean, do any movies make cash anymore?
Marvel
it's mostly...
makes like $3 billion every year.
Like, no, it's hard to say. Netflix is gonna just take it and turn it into something completely different, and then, you know, and ruin the story.
I liked it.
Yeah, you liked it. Yeah,
it was just artful and entertaining. Man.
But did you get it? Did you
talking
get
about
it?
the whole cancer thing?
Well, don't forget it. Is that see? He hasn't seen it, but
no, I haven't seen
there's
it.
There's a clip online that actually explains it. So it's all about reflection. It's everything echoes yourself, basically.
So this is basically just me losing out and watching the movie.
What the fuck, Don?
It's definitely different.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's weird though to see like you know all of these chick-dominated. No offense, but like all of these female-dominated kind of action films and sci-fi flicks, but they're actually good. Like
what are we talking about? Like Tomb Raider?
Like Arrival and shit like that.
Yeah.
And did you guys like Arrival or what?
Yeah, I was a fan.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Enough. I mean, it didn't like end with a bang or anything. Like they kind of.
I mean, it was one twist.
They did kind of waste a good idea, but the idea is cool.
Usually, what a good movie makes is something that you didn't expect at the end of the movie.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But after 2 hours, it was the one twist. Like they pumped you with, and look, I like.
It was a lot of talking to a wall. That's alien.
There was a lot of talking to a wall, and I gotta say. For a species that's been around for millions of years, you think they'd be a bit more clear with us, and they sucked tree branch monsters. I was kind of expecting
more. I think of like an octopus.
An octopus was like, that they were trying to.
I'm just wondering how these beings get the technology to like do everything else if they'd have like no sense of like any kind of analysis of like sound waves or anything, you know, like we have even very basic like voice recognition and shit, and these things can fucking do the little like egg things across fucking worlds and
but
can't speak to human like in that wavelength, like that's.
But don't you feel a bit cheated? Is that they only gave one girl at the end the ability to see through time? No one else. No one else is allowed. Only this one girl who will break up with Jeremy Renner after their baby dies. And the whole film, because the baby dies.
Yeah,
it was about accepting the future.
Rough.
But it was kind of like, oh, so you're gonna accept bad things happening, but you can't change it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Credits, boom. Oh yeah. All right. So what would you say? You guys are fairly good with film culture and so. What would you guys say is probably your favorite film of 2017?
You saw that on my resume, huh?
Mm-hmm. All 17 pages.
Oh, man.
What would you say? Would Seth? You
so
go
my problem
first.
is I just watched a bunch of movies and I don't know when they were made.
Well. Look, if it's got lots of
I'd say
special
Black
effects,
Panther.
yeah.
I mean,
Really? You're gonna go Black Panther?
I mean, that's the last one I saw.
Well,
but like the best film, the best film.
No,
of the year.
I'm okay.
The best film of the whole last
The
year.
Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse. I thought
2016. Sorry, that was the shit though. That was the fucking shit. The X-Men Apocalypse was a fucking shit.
Very eye entertainment.
That was fucking great. You know that Bryan Singer they got he made this not allowed to make films anymore, ever.
Ever?
Again, he's done.
Oh, was he part of the whole Me Too?
No, he had sexual allegations a few years ago, but he paid the guy off, and it's all good. And look, what happened is that Bryan Singer was at a party with the guy, and he was on top of him, and Bryan Singer was like 23 or something, and the dude was like, and the dude was like 16, and the dude's like, no, I don't want to do this. And Bryan's like, that's fine, I apologize. So apparently, because that happened 25 years ago, he's not allowed to make films anymore.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure one day he will be able to.
There's like,
He'll make a
what's
movie
the
about
fucking
himself.
statute of limitations on that? It's gonna be like fucking.
Here's the really great part is like Roman Polanski. There's a lot of fake news out at the moment because he got picked up the other day, but then he got let go, but then he didn't, but then he got fined, but then he didn't because he still hasn't picked up his Oscar. Which there's like a whole conspiracy about. That's why the pianist wanted to lure him back to America. So like, I am here. Get him, take him down now because he raped a chick, and just got on the next plane, and they went, and that's why, and we gave him, yeah.
But more women should be nominated. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree. Yeah, are you sure? I mean,
if they deserve it.
Okay. Well, let's think about a classic example. Hurt Locker.
I
know a lot of people who hate that film.
I feel like
it's directed by
this whole. I mean, this isn't really what I know much about, but watching the Oscars and everything, making fun of the men and putting women ahead of everything, and it's just like, here's your third place, here you go.
The Oscar goes to Meryl Streep again. Great job, everybody. Great job. 27.
That's just what I get out of it. I don't know. I didn't actually watch any of them, but there's some clips on.
We watched halfway through, and then we were like, well, The Shape of Water won.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it yet.
It's chick
because it's
has sex with the fish man.
Yeah, it's just 40 Shades of Mermaid.
It is, but there's a lot of weird scenes. But you're kind of like it's a great film to smoke pot to. Yeah, it's a great film because there's scenes that show up, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Did I walk away? This is going on. And but as who said it? Somebody online said that's when you know the world's bad with male and female. When the Oscar goes to the one who were fucking a fish. The chicks are fucking a fish. That
way it's gender neutral. No one's got it's right down the highway.
All right.
Everybody likes.
What's one film you guys are just like, you know what? It's gonna be shit. Next year it's gonna be shit coming up. You're like, you know what? I don't believe it. It's gonna be crap. But I might go.
I actually just watched some of these trailers too.
There's a lot of because it's one company. Disney is basically.
Yo, give me a recap.
Sicario.
Could you give us a recap?
Okay, Sicario.
I just watched Sicario
done.
Today.
Jamie, could you please Google the top 10 2018 films coming out, please, just to recap.
Sicario 2 is coming out.
Yeah, but that. Renamed it as well. But Sicario wasn't. Did you really like Sicario?
I just watched it today. I don't know.
What'd you think?
I like Benicio del Toro being just I'm gonna kill everyone.
Yeah, no,
but that one scene was incredible. But the rest of the film was Emily Blunt I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him. And I'm crying. And that was the film. And then Benicio's
wait, Emily
dad,
Blunt,
you killed the family. That was
the Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt.
Hold on here.
We have A Wrinkle in Time, which has already come out March 9. Isle of Dogs. Ready Player One.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Ready Player One looks like a lot of fun.
You Were Never Really Here. Avengers Infinity War.
What's that? I've never heard of that film. Is that that must not be popular?
Yeah, it's a little indie.
Indie. It's probably got Daniel Day-Lewis in it.
No, he retired.
Deadpool 2.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yes. Well, yeah, he's hosted because his wife's about to kill him from all changing characters.
We got Ocean's 8, The Incredibles.
That's right. Ocean's 8. That's right. We have the Ocean's spin-off.
Oh, The Incredibles.
Really?
Wait, did they mesh those together? They should do a fucking fusion of those.
They already
Ocean 8 and Incredibles.
They're gonna do it
together.
And together.
Live action meets animation for no fucking reason. Are you ready to get high and
Dude, think about The Incredibles, Robin Casino.
Oh, you know what? I gotta say that would make a great trilogy. You're still recording, right?
Still recording, but I knocked down my phone. So
But
shot
Solo,
is definitely
Star Wars
Oh,
erupted.
so
yeah.
which they're just now advertising. Isn't that crazy? That Disney's like, see this film. Here's 2 trailers 30 days before it comes out. Pay us money.
Dude,
And
they make
I'm like,
so
okay.
much money.
Wait,
Don't
what is
forget-
Solar about? I didn't even know this
Solo
is a thing.
Could you keep
Whoa,
the
Solo!
sound?
I thought you said Solar.
Solo.
Solar.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
No.
what the fuck
you
is
pass
this?
this-
Movie, I think, too.
By the way, have I introduced you to my bong yet? His name's Bernie. He's reliable.
Oh,
he's
Bernie.
strong. When he falls over, he always gets back up.
He does look like a gray version of my.
Yes, yes.
My
It's just an
bong.
older.
I will be honest with
hippie
you.
version.
Once I saw that glowing in the dark, I realized I needed to make some life changes.
This is
Okay,
like a
speaking
half
of-
camo.
Speaking
like,
of, so here's a big one. I
if you want
want
to smoke
to bring
in
up here.
the trenches.
Yeah, you'll enjoy. Yeah, it's World War I. Man. Don't you want to
Oh, this
feel
is a
like
fucking-
you want to feel the way, right?
Wow.
What did you guys think of Justice League? And be brutally honest, Don, if you say you haven't seen it, I'm gonna cry. Tears of salt.
Well, I enjoyed it. It just.
What's your beef? What's your beef? What do you mean you have a hard time with Batman? What's your beef?
Well, Ben Affleck is not my favorite actor, and when he talks, I just don't want to listen or even look
Like,
at him. I don't know. It's
when
just-
did you turn? What film were you like? God damn it, Argo winning Best Picture and Best. God, that sucked.
It's not the movies that he's in. It's his acting is what I don't enjoy at all. Like, to me, it's just not
What date did this occur?
probably like.
Can you pass this?
Wasn't
Bernie,
he
mate?
in Good
No
Will
doubt.
Hunting? Wasn't he in Good Will Hunting? Was that-
Yeah, it was amazing. It was a spectacular film.
I
Who
did see,
wrote it?
you say that the films that he are in are bad. That's not what I'm saying.
Only
I'm
2,
saying I don't
Daredevil
like-
and Sheely.
I don't like the films.
I'm
that
sorry, I make some
Here,
shit
it's
films
because
too.
he
Are you
is-
gonna hate me forever too? Hate me forever? I'm like, it was alright. Piece of shit.
The movies are fine.
Yeah.
It's just I don't like Ben Affleck as an actor. That's all.
The thing about the
When I
thing
watch
for
the
me,
movie, I just don't enjoy it as much because he's in it.
the thing for me, and I think it goes to that, is that they lack the some kind of twisted mental state for me. Some kind of
Really?
yeah, just no, some kind of
You have unleashed Pandora's box?
right.
No. Have you seen any of his Batman films though? I mean, he's meant to be the Michael Keaton one that is angry.
Oh
20
no,
years has gone by.
I'm not talking about Batman.
Well, he's meant to be the narcissistic, angry Batman. Like, I'm 45, going on 50.
Gotcha, like
and I've been doing this
retirement
way
Batman.
too long, and I'm exhausted.
Like just
But-
working
but
to the
Ben
pension,
Affleck-
Batman.
But Ben Affleck really embodies that because he's the older intellectual who's a playboy as well.
Do you think he does get a pension?
For Batman,
Yeah, like you think Batman gets a pension? He's like sort of law enforcement.
it's a vigilante, so probably not. No. What are the criteria to get a pension? Can you
Batman-
Google for us
Batman
if a
was not
vigilante
Batman.
is? Batman's
Oh, because he's helping the police.
Yeah, he's always talking to the
I was
police
like, wait a minute,
commissioner.
you
He's
grew up
like,
in the
Can you
police department?
Google?
he's in constant communication.
Just
Like with
Google for us if
the commissioner. They have a fucking
if a
light.
vigilante is able to
Like,
actually
just-
have like
that
tax
signals
deductions.
his. I mean, he doesn't have like a 9 to 5, but
Do
he
you-
has a light.
do you
And then when he
watch
gets that
Gotham?
shit, and then
Oh god.
he's in there.
Do you like it? I like it.
You know what? Why? What? Plead your case. For the first 3 seasons, there's no Batman. I
There-
refuse to watch a show about Batman. It's like we're gonna bring Superman in 3 years. It's like I'm not gonna watch this fucking show. I want to see Superman.
It's not about Batman. It's about all the villains because it shows you.
I'll
how
watch the
they
Batman
become.
films. They're all
Yeah,
there.
but they don't show you how they evolve into these.
As children,
Yeah, but see, you haven't seen all the episodes.
give me
so-
Michael Caine and I'll reconsider.
Dude, Ivy's
That's
badass.
Yeah,
She
but I
change-
saw
have
the
you seen her
trip.
when she changes like into this beautiful woman and like she's just murking people with her little spells and shit.
I mean, yeah, but
for me, I actually did watch a little bit of that.
Yeah,
and then
there's no Batman.
And then
he is in there.
Yeah, he is in there, like Suicide Squad. He's there in that one scene. You just don't blink or go to the bathroom.
It's more about the other characters. It's not called Batman's Young Life. It's called Gotham. It's
okay, look. I will say one thing about Gotham. I'll say one thing. Kudos to the guy from the OC for being like, hey. They fucking called, guys. They fucking called. I'm gonna do it. And his friends are like, oh yeah, coming back. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so he's in Gotham now. Like, seriously, I would have never expected that guy.
What are you talking about?
The guy from the OC is Gordon.
I don't watch movies or shows like that.
The OC.
Well, it was 10 years ago. Yeah,
like,
it was 10 years ago. The
like
guy, the kid from that is
Orange County, like the show.
Yeah, Orange County from the show. He's the detective. That's an amazing achievement for an actor. Like, please hire me.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I know. You know, like I almost fall for the fucking bankruptcy, bro.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to do whatever you fucking want. I'll kiss Ivy. I'll fucking kill whatever you want. I'll be Batman. Fuck it. You guys, do you know that? Have you guys been watching The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're still going? Oh, nice. Because everyone I speak to is like, once Glenn died, fuck that show. And I'm like, well, there's other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, are you watching it?
No.
Why? Why have you made the choice when people are like, do Walking Dead, and you're like, no, I'm going to do something else. And they're all like, what is it to do?
Yeah.
Like, what do you... Why? Why do you rebel? Why do you rebel?
Just... Zombies are my problem.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm just not a big zombies guy.
Really? You just don't like this? What?
Well,
but it's done in a really great way, though.
Because what always ends up happening is it's like, oh shit, we all have guns and they run out of bullets, so we all run to fucking somewhere where there are bullets.
But it's more
and then
now. It's way more now.
No, but
most of the new episodes don't even have zombies in them.
Well,
but like if you don't start, you're not gonna like start 6 years after, right? Like,
well,
I didn't start from the beginning because I fucking started
season 4 and became addicted because it is Shakespearean.
Binge watch it.
Okay.
It's very Shakespearean. So like characters are like, I'm a badass. I've killed thousands. I'm gonna be a good guy for 2. Oh no, wait. You know what? I love killing. And then you're like, fuck, this guy almost turned good. Kill this motherfucker. And they're like, oh thank God, he's dead. He killed Susan. You know, and it's and the gore is great. It's done in a really proper way. Like, did you watch any of the previous seasons, or did you give up?
No, 0.
Because okay, look, I'll let you know. A lot of people give up at the farm. I personally find everyone's like, the farm. Well, look, I'll let you know. Be grateful that we moved on from one season because Frank Darabont, the original director, wanted to do like 3 seasons at the farm.
What is going to happen after this is?
You know what?
Negan is done, right?
You know what? I don't.
What's going to happen?
I'll be honest with you, boys. Negan is kind of the extent of my comic book knowledge.
How do they become zombies? Give me that. Just
that's the fun thing is that everyone has it. Everyone does. So even if you die of natural causes, you still turn into a zombie.
It's just like in the water.
It's just everybody's infected, but the whole thing is that the directors wanted to talk about it, and then Frank Darabont, who was the director of the show.
This is my beef.
So this is the whole thing. So Frank Darabont was like, yeah, this is a big story note, but he recently came out and said, yeah, I regret bringing that up because I would have liked to, had it a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And the comics also are like, fuck you, we're going to focus more on the humanity aspect of it because it is kind of a biblical story, like David, with all the battles and stuff, and there's so many battles.
Yeah.
There is, and I gotta say, and don't forget, and I'll spoil this, in the comics, Rick and Negan really find like a mutual respect for each other. So there's this kind of like weird, like Nebuchadnezzar, David thing, like, I want to kill you, but God damn, I like you. Yeah. The other one's like, I want to kill you too, and you. But you know what? What you did back at that town 2 years ago was pretty awesome, and I never would have been able to pull that off. So there is that kind of,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and it's very Shakespearean, and like characters come back, and then Carol's in the comics. She's dead. She died in the prison. Daryl's gone. But do watch it. It's a great show. It's just But there's rumors that they're gonna end it soon because
I think there's a new zombie movie coming out.
That's one of those shows that I'm gonna hit like. I'm gonna watch it like when I get.
You'll get addicted though.
Yeah, no. I'll watch it in like a month. Like the whole thing.
I
watched all of Breaking Bad in like a week and a half.
Oh my god, you
2 weeks.
must have been a fucking asshole to deal with.
During school.
You must have turned out. You must have been. There must have been a month's time where they were like, Don was cool until he did the Breaking Bad marathon. Then you come up like, hey man, I learned this thing about meth. Like,
oh yeah,
Don, it's been 3 weeks. And you're like, dude, episode 342, dude. Like, yeah, man, I saw it like 2 years ago, man.
The Cure is
exactly.
The
Cure
coming out this year.
Yeah, but are zombie movies even still? Because George A. Romero's dead, the great zombie director.
Have you seen iZombie, the series?
No, I have not. We've seen a lot of the. Really? Why?
It's funny, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I like crime shows.
So it's about a zombie who helps with crime.
Yeah.
So it's CSI with a zombie.
Well, they eat their brains, and then they have visions of the person's brain that they eaten, and she helps them solve how they die because she's one of the morgue doctors that's downstairs.
Time out. So the zombies eat the brains, get the visions of the people they eat, and she
take
helps.
on their personality too.
So this
They look like normal people. They just look. They look paler, but it's like a whole culture now to where they all like look like normal because they spray tan and everything.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Even
that's
zombies.
It's a comedy. I did not actually grasp that from the fucking.
Rob Thomas is the director, and he the
band Matchbox fucking 20.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we're gonna span out.
He's Canadian.
Anybody have any? Really? Yeah, I think he actually. Rob Thomas.
So are these like self-conscious zombies? Time out. We gotta go back.
Yeah. Like how complex are these zombies?
This is my fucking thing about zombies. Zombies are like anything that's like dead at all. If it's dead and like walks around, it's a zombie. There's like it could be from infection, it can be from like aliens, it can be from anything. It can be conscious, not conscious. I mean, they can like the ones in that X movie with Brad Pitt,
That sucks, by the way.
They just are super fast and have no brains. Then we have conscious zombies who are apparently just regular. They spray tan. Like we have every kind of pre-zombie, post-zombie, cause of zombies. I just lose.
Shaun of the Dead was great. Sorry, we have a.
Sorry.
Okay, so I've googled iZombie, and it is production location is Vancouver. So.
Get those tax breaks, guys.
And it airs on the CW. First episode.
30% off, 80% write-off, guys. Who wants to live in Canada? Canada's like, you can film here. There's nobody around.
And it has 8 out of 10 on IMDb and 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it seems.
What have you done, Seth? Are you just on there on multiple accounts?
No, I just watch a lot of time away.
All right. Here's a question.
Summertime's coming, so it's not going to be watching a lot of movies.
That's like the equivalent of getting dunked on, I think.
All right. What?
You just got posterized.
Dude, I've never dunked on anyone in my life.
I saw it.
What? What do you mean? What?
We'll have an American Australian translator.
Yeah, you might have to. What are you guys talking about? I've never dunked on anybody. What do you mean?
It's sports ball. Look it up.
March Madness is on. Okay, and you have to pay this year. It's a bunch of bullshit.
I have not watched one game, but
because you have to pay this year. It's bullshit. Last year was free. This year you have to pay. You have to pay so you have to log into your TV.
I could just give you my.
I already have it.
We should cut this part, but my password is.
But last year it was completely free for everyone, completely, and I just pumped it with the ads and shit. There's something on my face.
No way. Yeah, no. Something was on my face. That's what I did there.
You're a beautiful man. You're a beautiful man. All right, back to the question. What film do you not want to see this year?
I don't know.
What film
are you like, fuck this film, I'm not seeing it. Aquaman. Are you guys going to actually see Aquaman?
No, it looks romantic as fuck, right? It looks like a hat from... No, okay, never mind.
They didn't even really shift for it. All we know is there's going to be Amber Heard's tits out. We're like...
No, I was...
$17, there we are.
Some reason you said Aquaman and I just thought, that Shape of Water... And then, now I'm just all confused, because, Aquaman could be...
3 The Rock Johnson films now.
I could totally see a superhero movie going rom-com at some point.
Love story too, I think.
That would be nice.
Aquaman could be the guy for it.
Well, also the Wonder Woman was kind of a rom-com because Chris Pine kind of played the kind of female character, and Wonder Woman was kind of the male character. So all the shortcomings of him kind of did make it a rom-com. It was fucking genius.
I liked it.
Shut the fuck up. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
God
You
damn,
forgot to
Don,
send me this in the notes?
Oh, man. You're going to spend 12 hours watching films.
At least.
All right.
I mean,
all right. So let's
to
talk about something that's really a big thing. What is your guys's, and we'll go through that table, Seth. Let's get your point of view. How do you feel about what's your current perspective on the current legalization of marijuana in Colorado? What's your current perspective of what you see the current state at this very moment right now?
Well, that one lady just got her license to be able to have people vape and buy
this is cool.
or eat edibles in her establishment, I believe.
In coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee shop opening?
Yeah. So I think that places should be allowed to do whatever they want per area, I believe.
Dude, I didn't know if this was a
Well,
thing.
I mean, let's bring it back to this, is that what do you see for the future of, like, the cannabis? Like, do you see
It's
Colorado's
not going
being
anywhere, that's for sure.
Like, what do you
It's
mean?
only going to be growing, for sure.
bigger and bigger? Well, don't forget the whole world's going to change when Canada legalizes 18 years old on July 1st. They've been growing for 2 years. They're like...
You think that's gonna make everyone, like, turn around and...
I think the upper states...
matters.
I think the upper states, like Michigan and those close to Canada, are going to be filled with pot. And they're going to be like...
True.
And they're going to miss out on billions. Like, Nebraska's like... We missed out on $3 billion. Like, fuck. Like, now they're like, fuck it, legalize medical, we'll do rec next year.
I believe 21 is a good age, if not even older.
Call me convinced.
To be able to buy it.
I think you should be 18, it's fine.
We shut these.
No! Yeah, sure. But, Jamie, could you help us out with the shutting of the... we have a guest who's extremely cold. His nipples are about to poke through the glass.
Florida, man.
Florida? Dude, I love Florida.
My nipples are going
Okay.
through the
Don't
glass.
the cameras just because.
I will say, the most amount
don't
of
say
drugs
Don't say anything.
I've ever taken
We're cutting here.
It was last night, actually.
was in Florida earlier.
No.
Oh, God, I hate you. Off camera, Phelan came by so fucking with all of visitors. I didn't even know it was his last day.
Alright, are we
And
doing
they were
these?
like-
Wait, it was his last day?
Yeah, today.
Oh, yeah, because
I
I'm
didn't even
taking
know,
over
dude.
for him. I
Yeah,
forgot
but-
that I was doing that.
They had coke, and I almost gave up everything.
No, I did. Yeah, I got home last night at like 5:36, maybe.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was very fun.
I hate you so much. Seriously, coke is one of
Do you wanna
the
do the one behind
greatest
you,
things
or-
ever.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm sure it's alright. It's just really windy.
Or
We
maybe
can
you can
always
do
hug
that
you.
one,
Do
just-
you want a hug? Do you want to cuddle? Okay.
Alright, we're ready to
All
continue?
right. So the current state of cannabis, like you say, it's not going anywhere. But what do you think are the big
No, I say
hurdles?
I don't think there's going to be many hurdles. They've hurdled them.
Well, I know that you were involved with a company with CBD oils at some point. There's thousands.
But it wasn't cannabis.
That's true. So, but hemp is a Schedule 1. So how do you get around?
It's not.
It is. It is.
You can grow it in Colorado.
Well, yeah, it's in Colorado, but not in South Dakota.
Yeah, but the company I worked with was getting it from like Spain. They're growing it in Spain, and harvesting it, and then shipping the oil to America as it's already been processed.
Was it good though?
Yeah,
Like, was
I
it
still
good?
Take it. I don't sell it, but I take it still.
But
Oh yeah,
do
no,
you
you can.
find like a big difference between that and like when you go to a Colorado store? Like, do you need to buy?
Yes.
Like, what do you mean? Like
Well,
you are going to
it's a
have to
regimen.
define
You
this.
take it every day. Like you go to any of these stores and buy CBD. It's so expensive. This stuff they used. If I can get all these terminology right, phytocannabinol was encapsulated with a liposome from sesame seed oil, and it would absorb through your mouth pores instead of you digesting it, so you don't lose. It was supposed to be 100% bioavailability, meaning that you don't lose any properties by taking it because you're not digesting it.
So you're saying that they've perfected it, or is
I don't know if because the problem is the studies that they have is just people taking it and like, either liking it or not liking it, and I liked it for the fact that
How are they measuring bioavailability?
yeah. I
That's,
love that word,
that's what I'm saying. Like
bioavailability.
Like that's
science.
That's my question. Like liquids in general are more bioavailable, but like that's because they're digested differently.
Well, somehow
if you're differentiating between liquids, like how are you measuring
from
that?
What I understand is, so CBD is cannabinol.
Which is a whole bunch of different things.
Phytocannabinol. So they changed the molecule to make it smaller of something.
So
like
it's some
that.
kind of synthetic.
But you know
it
what
sounds like a
liposome
synthetic
is?
drug. Yeah.
Like there's some other stuff that you can take if you drink and you squirt it in your mouth and it uses liposomes. It's, I don't know, just said like liposomal use is something that they have found.
Can you look up liposomes?
Can get into your body quicker, I believe.
Yeah.
Do you know what a liposome is though?
Like the definition of a liposome.
Well,
yeah.
So like, how do you feel when you take this compared to like? Give us a breakdown.
Sure.
After a week, like I play soccer and.
In the words of Republicans, no, you don't. You're a liar.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
And
you play football.
You play football.
My joints.
I've seen you.
Oh right. That's right. I forgot where I was talking to.
Sorry. Forgot what podcast he's on.
Wait, you play soccer?
Fuck no. Well, I did in high school, but I sucked.
You did in high school,
bad,
though.
but it would help my joints. I could tell for sure. Like right after I play.
Like arms, like elbows and legs and shit.
Yeah.
Really, in your knees and shit.
Alright, so I have a couple of definitions over here for people. So for those who are not sure what bioavailability is, that's the proportion of a drug or other substance that enters the circulation when introduced into the body and so is able to have an active effect. And liposomes definition is a minute spherical sac of phospholipid molecules enclosing a water droplet, especially as formed artificially to carry drugs
like
and other substances into the tissues.
Soap is a liposome.
What's the extraction method that they would be using?
Sure.
Like, would that be ethanol or
soap?
Well,
CO2?
It is all
what's the fucking
vegetable based. There's no chemicals.
So vegetable oil? Like pre-processed vegetable oil?
I don't know, man. They cook it down. I would assume with maybe even water. You just boil it down to a. How do you extract oil out of olives? You know what I mean? Like they don't use chemicals. It's all natural. You know?
Give me 12 hours. Yeah.
I don't know how this is done, but
just pressed.
Yeah.
Just one olive at a time.
Right.
So like I know when I take CBD, I get like a muscle relaxation. I get like a floaty feeling. I get a euphoria, almost similar to ecstasy for a very short period of time.
From what I saw, a lot of people that were taking this, it does something to your brain too. Like there's a lot of things that I don't want to talk about because I really don't know. Like I would be like spewing out information that's probably false. So
well, we appreciate you saying that on the podcast. Everyone, don't listen.
And now say what you think it is, and then fact check.
But just say what you think,
made me
and
calm.
we'll just
I smoke weed still too. So.
What?
I know, right?
The devil's.
I know. Space cabbage. But
You know that? Have you guys ever had a friend that's actually gone psychotic from pot?
No.
I've had a few friends. Well, psychotic tendencies.
I had a bad double trip or something like that.
Well, yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, but, that's the question.
Multiple friends where they've smoked a joint.
We've got to define psychotic trip.
Well, you're smoking a joint, and then the person turns into somebody completely different, either angry, all the emotions that don't come with pot.
Oh, you mean just the opposite of what normally
happens? Like, I've seen this.
Get sick.
Are we counting like paranoia, or is that just normal pot?
Let's count it. Well, look, paranoia
is.
Don't forget, you should never be paranoid in Colorado.
Because
everyone's high.
But you can be.
Are you
that's
on
the
pot
thing
too? Oh, what was that?
No. But that's. I think that's something.
For 7 years. Sorry.
I think it's different.
Like what?
I think it can be different because when I lived out of state and allegedly used pot,
Allegedly. There's no evidence. He did not because he was at church.
Okay.
Fucking choir boy.
My mom went to seminary, but we're not going to talk about that.
I love. Shout out to Pastor Gore. Shout out to
Jesus.
Yeah, the one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but the. Give me a fuck.
We're gonna come back to the cannabis question, by the way, for you two. We are gonna come back.
Are they doing any kind of things for? I don't know, Cannabis Cup, are you?
We've
You know?
The affiliation I have has entered, but of course, don't forget there's like 1,200
I want to be
stores.
there, actually. I'm going to Connecticut.
Connecticut's awesome. When are you going?
Connecticut's awesome. What is it?
In Connecticut? Like in fall.
Hang out
I
with a
mean,
friend.
yeah, it's.
I mean, I saw a picture on Twitter. It looked awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
isn't that
It's
where
like fucking Delaware made?
Did you see that one? I did like that.
Oh, Jumanji
Maybe
2
it's
was
not the
great.
Delaware.
Yeah, it's actually
Okay,
Star Wars.
Don.
Yeah.
Where do you see the cannabis? Sorry. I'm sorry.
Cannabis industry.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Don, from your
We've got excellent
perspective, without
goatees.
naming names, unless of course you feel. Sorry, sir. How do you feel the current state is? Seth has been. You left the cannabis industry what, a year, 6 months ago?
It's been a year. It was
Is it really been a
March
year?
like 15th or something.
I gotta say though, you did strike me as someone who would be in it for a long time. You like your just personality seems like someone like we're getting this weed out there. Like you just seem like somebody like we need more weed. Fuck, like
Hard and
Well, yeah, but it did suit your personality in terms of like running you dry, of course. But
it's because I like it too. I smoke it every day.
well, dealing is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make it kind of fun.
Legal dealing is
Before
no comment after
Before you go, Don, I just want to state for the record, I have lots of friends who have left the cannabis industry, and I'm always like, I'll get pretty big. I'll be like, do you ever miss it? Like, you've taken all these jobs, and everyone's like, I kind of fantasize about it now. Like, I kind of, like, a part of me wants to always kind of go back, because there's a sensibility of drug dealing, because you're kind of like a doctor, but you're not, but you're also a dealer, but you're not.
Yeah.
But you are, and some people are like, talk to me like a dealer. Some people are like, I don't understand anything. Can you just explain? I don't want to drink, okay? And like, so you're like, oh shit, yeah.
Well,
it's pretty
did you ever
undefined.
wait tables or work in a restaurant?
Oh yeah, 10 years of that. But don't forget, I did that in Australia, so it's never mind.
Yeah,
and I will say this: I made my way all the way up the ladder in Australia in terms of like waiting tables, but then I found that my soul was even more dead because in Australia there's no tipping. It's 25 per hour. So
is 25 an hour good?
Well, yes, but keep in mind though, is that
serving some people
you're working with
the pesos, you forget.
Aussies, so they're gonna be drunk. They don't, and you're a ghost. So even though if there's an actor, producer, or someone at a table. Yeah, I did that as well too. It's different because don't forget you have to line up for a drink. It's about getting away from you because unless you're an alcoholic, which exists and is condoned and endorsed, and so there's no one has any problems with drinking. And there's pokies.
Weddings
poker
were the
machines.
ones that changed my mind about people. Like I was
Really?
in charge of like doing banquets and
Did
stuff.
a lot of weddings. Yes, I've done a lot of weddings.
So they're off the rocker.
You know what though?
Getting married, or when the shit's not going right. And
Yeah, but
shit's in the fan. In the
but the after party though, you gotta admit though. The after party always makes you kind of second doubt things. Come on. I mean, unless you had the experiences, wink, wink, hint, hint, that I did. The only painful part is that I would. This should happen a lot, right? So, I was a waiter and I worked my way to the top, right? But I ended up doing weddings, all right, at the end, right? No, this is fucking depressing, right? So I would be. So in Australia, you can only do 6 months of film because that's just how things are. This is kind of how the cycle is, whereas America's like, turn them out, unfriended, fine, fuck it.
They're just not filming in Australia?
Yeah, for 6 months, so you get a regular job, but the problem was, I was like the liaison at like the art gallery, so I'd meet people, and they'd be like, hey, aren't you like 6 months ago? And I'd be like, yeah, hey, and then after that, I'd do their weddings, or I'd be like I'd be on the staff, and they'd be like, how's things going? I'm like, waiting for this one to start up in 6 weeks. I'm like, oh, good. I'm an actor and I'm rich. It's going great. Anyway, bye. Yeah. And you're like, on set I was king, and I will say this: Hugo Weaving never spoke to me. He always gave me this. He just gave me the same look. I dream about it, dude. He never spoke to me, and he never wanted to. It was we spoke via.
Who's that?
Hugo Weaving is the Australian main actor who did he was Agent Smith, he was Agent Smith in The Matrix, but he never wanted me to bring up that he was Hugo Weaving. So how he would communicate with me is,
just look at you.
Hugo Weaving is a terrifying being with a giant beard. He was like,
yeah, beard.
Yes, that's fine. Do you actually close those doors? So, Don, sorry, we'll get back to this.
No.
Don, your viewpoint on the cannabis industry. I'm going to stop talking about fucking bullshit film. What's your thought about the cannabis industry? We'll talk about Colorado first.
Okay.
And then we're going to do a little reverse Tarantino love and go backwards and talk about the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And, well, we'll do the country and the rest of the world. Because I know that you've seen some shit and...
in the trenches. I mean,
well, in terms of Cali as well, I mean, to see a system that's been established, but still kind of like, don't go over unannounced. We will fuck you up.
Yeah.
And then to go to Cali, like, do you want more? It's so fucking wicked. The cops are here.
I mean,
that's how I imagine it.
Yeah, before Cali even legalized, that was the case. I mean,
So where do you see things now and where they go in Colorado?
I think it's just a mindset of the people that are already there. Like,
what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, no. So in California, I feel like it's a really loose liberal mindset. It's a fucking not to like overgeneralize or anything, but I feel like they're pretty liberal, like open to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Colorado has a mix of both like military and religious people that are more conservative, and then sort of the young, we'll say young people that moved here for weed or some kind of, like there's sort of a youth movement as well. And so you get a little bit of a mix. So I think that affects how it's treated. In Colorado, it's not treated even close to. It's okay. So I'll say it differently. Liquor is much looser. I mean, sure, they still check the ID, but you can walk in, you get to pick it out, hand pick whatever you want, wherever you want.
It's all there. It's available.
The tax is way less. All this shit.
But that's been around for 100 years.
Yeah. But it's also you gotta look.
Stop drinking. You're against Jesus.
But you're looking at when you're making policy, you're not looking at what they did 100 years ago. You're looking at what has shown through what statistics you have. To inform your decision.
Buddy bought a 1,000 milligram container of edibles in LA. And I was like, holy, he's like, I don't even know how much to take. He's like taking crumbs, you know what I mean? He smokes weed, but he's not like,
1,000 milligrams? You would just be a zombie, like a concert,
like, in a big what?
Stuff. I
just like take little pieces. And
I've got my med card from California.
Yeah. Because you can just walk in there.
Yeah, you just walk in and Venice Beach.
All right, so
even before, once it legalizes, they're just gonna be like. Oh yeah, whatever you want.
Where do you see pot going in the future, Don? Like, what from your perspective, from your personal view?
I think it'll be legalized everywhere. Just because.
Why is that? Why is that?
It's just purely financial. Not purely financial. It's financial and
millions of dollars.
It's a massive. It would help so much in the opioid crisis. Like, if you're going to go towards the opioid crisis thinking, we're just going to tell these people stop doing drugs, like what, like, you're for your pain, I'm not saying that these people are, just, drug addicts or bad people in any way. I'm saying that they are literally prescribed these drugs, but then they are getting addicted to them and it's leading to bad things. Like, if you're saying, well, we have this opioid crisis, let's take away these bad drugs that are killing people, you got to give them something else to help with their pain.
So wait, there's something right there. Personally condoning that pot is an opioid replacement. Is that what you are?
Absolutely. In a variety of forms. There's all different things. I mean, sure, there are situations where the pain is too great and you need to move to something else, but I think we can be way stricter on what we prescribe those things for. For example, in the NFL, the like huge. I'm gonna throw it to sports because whatever.
Don's a bit of a sports nut. He wakes up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
What is that?
Puts his jacket.
But yeah, no. But like in the NFL, they're like.
Yeah,
it's like a super physical sport. They're not allowed to take steroids.
I thought they were.
It's a super physical sport.
So you're allowed to take pot, right?
No, you're not. That's the thing. They will. There's multiple accounts. People that retire, people still in the league, that they will literally like on planes, like be handing out just like pills for people to like deal with the pain. Because I mean, this is a sport played by 300-pound guys going faster than any of us can run.
Fucked up.
And in pads, which are like modern armor.
Well,
and
plastic
like
pads, yeah.
But they can't smoke marijuana. But they're given these drugs that are like promoted by drug companies and all this shit.
Yeah.
But they like it's just a kind of a no-brainer for that, and I think it applies to other people with pain.
All right. So bringing up one more thing, how do you feel about the whole? I mean, let's face it, the news is getting more and more TV culture about
true.
The brain damage in NFL. I mean, let's face it. There was 2 months ago or so that killed himself because he went fucking crazy. He only played like 4 seasons.
Yeah,
because he smashed his fucking.
4 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to admit though, there is. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're killing people. Yeah, but we're killing people, guys. This is a sport that is killing, and it's not in like, oh yeah, they just die in their sleep. They die through psychoticness.
Yeah.
Like they think. Their friends
they have
are
a choice to play if they want to play. It's not like this is just like brand new news.
Yeah, but it's beyond that. It's beyond that. If I said to you, cannabis will give you cancer in 10 years, would you still do cannabis? Probably it was unclear. It was well, we're still ingesting it in our lungs. We're still putting smoke in.
No, I get that, but you just said it will.
Well,
I mean, so my question is...
Statistically speaking, sir, statistically speaking, though, the more smoke you put in your lungs compared to someone who does not put smoke in their lungs...
So is...
Nobody's putting plant matter in your lungs.
Well, I actually read an article on it. There's no studies done on cannabis and lung health, and they're going to look into it now.
For real?
And no one has any idea.
No
sanctioned government, federally endorsed.
Well, yeah, because it's not legally
1,000 scientists. Yeah,
federal, right? Like that's the biggest. That's the biggest thing with getting it federally legal. Like more than like being able to use banks and all that stuff. Is being able to study it federally through federally funded programs and federal state universities and such things. I mean, I think they have grants and stuff like that.
Like once a week about something.
Can get around it, but
it's
so important to look at this.
Doctor involved, like that baby who got. Can you look at the baby who got cured of cancer by a cannabinoid? Like, but there was no doctor involved. Like, that's the problem, is that the medical community, like, okay, look, this is going to bring me to one topic, and I want to get your thoughts, and we're going to take a quick pause. We're going to continue with our questions with Don here. The big question, of course, on the table currently is, how does Don feel that it's going to... Fuck did I ask? What did I ask you again? Silver one? Cannabis. Cannabis, where's it going in terms of the world, Don? Like, from your perspective currently, from where you sit in Colorado, where do you physically see it right now in 2018?
I see...
In terms of the world.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think... I think that over time... We'll get all legal, just because I think it's a low enough fatality drug.
There's only been one?
Maybe. I mean, unproven. I think it's still zero. If it's one, then it already beats alcohol by 20, so it's...
Oh, man, hands down.
Just
hands
20.
Down. Drink driving alone, dude.
So...
And you have a place to go for drinking, by the way.
Always.
I'm cool to drive home. Yeah, it's fine. You can't take my keys. It's my right. and you're like, hey, buddy, I don't think you should drive. Shut up! But on pot, you're like, I gotta slow down. I'm going way too fast.
Yeah,
Be
no,
careful, guys. Be careful. Whoa!
Hey, this
it's
guy's
65.
passing me a little close.
Whoa! I'm gonna get in the left-hand lane, so I calm down here. Whoa!
Oh god. What's my next exit? Let me check again.
I'm check. Okay, it's in 30 minutes.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna check every 5 minutes.
Every like
0.3
miles, like every third of a mile. Woo!
This guy's braking. I should slow down by 20.
Yeah, like
So, like, where do you see it going in terms of every other country being like, so you made lots of money? Like,
yeah, no,
we might join you, except for Russia. So, like, $1 million? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but our, like, say...
And socialism
England,
is the big question, sorry.
I mean, do people want it? I mean, like, is it a thing that they're, like, voting on?
Well, apparently so. Well, this is the whole thing, is that because we live in a corporate world now, voting's like... He's so cute. Funny. Let's pass this fucking shit. But, like, so that brings me back to the question I remember now, because that bourbon, saved my life. Because that's what you get in pot. When people come in, they go, I was dying of cancer until I found Jack Daniels.
Yep.
And that really saved my life.
Yep. I've heard that all the time in the liquor store.
Thank God. People come in daily. They say...
It's like this 6-pack of Coors, man. Whew. One a day, keeps the doctor away.
And why wear a lab coat when you serve booze? It's. Do you guys find that weird? No. That's right. That does not happen, but people expect us to wear that. Anyway, people do. Why are you wearing a lab coat? I smoke this shit. I don't know. I'm doing the best I can do.
No liquor attendants, actually help you. They just are there to ring you up.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what they're going into a liquor store.
Yeah. What's on special? My abs. Oh, you know what? There's a funny tattoo. So that brings us back to the question at hand of what do you think of America versus, let's break it down, America versus Australia's socialist way. Like, imagine that bit being like, I gotta get high. Now, don't forget, in Australia, you're paid minimum 50 grand unless you work weekends. Mm-hmm. On top of that, your doctor is required if you take a day off. But your doctor's cool. Your doctor is like, I get paid from the government. It's fine. I'm not going to be like, fuck you. He's not going to be like, do you want some x-rays? Let's get some x-rays. He's like, you're young. You look fine. Get the fuck out of here. Did you fuck a chick without a condom? You did, didn't you?
It's just an interview.
Just tell me.
It's just like a 10-minute interview. Right?
Yeah, and they're all like, look.
Are they pro-choice over there too?
We do have abortion clinics and brothels, but brothels have done
those two things
you
are
go to one and then you
apparently
well, the strippers are outside of the brothels, so it does.
Is there like some kind of like Save the Dolphins plastic ban over there?
Dolphins. Or something? We're trying to save the great whites at the moment there, and the ones like, I'm sorry, been around for 1,000,000 years. I'm sorry.
Have you seen how much plastic is in the ocean?
Oh, dude, we've been watching Okay, wait. Before we go back to this topic, Sky News. For all those, Sky News has a live feed online currently right now to watch their news, but they're doing a special, crazy amount of plastics in the ocean. Directly that. So if you tune into Sky News, there's like a 75%, and apparently Britain's worried that they're going to be like overrun by just like, here's the London Bridge, and if you follow the odds are you're going to get a lot of Coke bottles on the way down. So there's like a big push. It's free online. It's YouTube, Apple TV. It's free.
Coke bottles could break your fall.
Because that's the other thing as well that they've been talking about is that Theresa May's like, we're getting pirates for plastic.
Yeah, because
what do we fucking do? And then Putin killed a guy and his kids. So
all these people are like using
not a big deal.
Plastics to make
I mean, that's why I won by 80%.
But check out Sky News because it's interesting because the odds are you'll turn it on and you'll be like, what a beautiful beach. What the fuck is this water?
Yeah.
There's all these fucking bottles. What's that? And you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Because when I went there, I did kind of get drunk and kind of throw my bottles over.
All the fish are eating it, and then the people are eating the fish, and
exactly.
so now it's like the people that are getting like harmed because the fish have it like in them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like we almost didn't realize that we eat fish.
Yeah.
So before we are out of time for this first podcast with us boys, Give me your hands.
Oh.
Your hands. We're going to pray to
prayer?
Jesus.
Ooh,
Thank you, Jesus.
Body of Christ.
Also, I had a friend who would play a great prank on a person. He'd come up to them and go, he'd come up to them and go, high five. And he'd be like, yeah. And he'd be like, for Jesus. And they'd be like, what? So the other question I have to ask is, so John, we'll move on to something, then we'll close this up here for the first podcast because you boys are beautiful minds. Thank you again for your time. But how do you feel the American system done without me interjecting you 50 times? How do you feel versus a socialist system where basically the talk's like, you're back on a Tuesday. I get paid $65 to $30 for you just showing up here from the government.
How many people,
I have no problems.
How many people live in Australia?
Well, you have a population, so this is the problem. You have to compare it to also America. America is 313 million.
Yeah.
Roughly, that we have accounted for. It might be 320, 30
We're
million.
talking millions over.
Still, Australia is about 29 million.
24.13 million.
In Australia.
What the heck's that math though? Well,
2016.
2016.
So that's 10% of us. Not even. It's like 8% of the U.S.
How many more percent?
8%. That's 8% of the U.S.
So we basically populate Texas.
Yeah. No, like that's the thing.
But don't forget, this is basically a population that's gone. Fuck Black Margaret. Fuck stores. Go to your doctor.
How many people die of diabetes and heart disease?
Not that much because the culture is to get out there and move, and if you don't,
that's the problem.
Your friends will force you. It's either booze. Dude, your friends in Australia, if you go there, they're like, let's go for a jog. You're like, I'm playing Xbox, and they're like, doobie and a beer? And then all of a sudden you're fucking jogging with a doobie and a beer, and they're like, this is great, huh? And you're like, how the fuck did this happen? And they're like, you're my best friend. You're like, I'm going the extra mile. Fuck. And they're like, when we get back, we're gonna have shots of Jack and bong rips. And you're like, I love bong rips. I got some pills in the closet. And you're like, I didn't want to go for a 5-kilometer run. And now you're running and you're like, here I am. And they're like, mate, this is awesome, mate. And you're like, I'm fucked up. So then you get back and Aussies are very much into their culture in terms of like sharing.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, we only have one pill. So I guess we have to cut this up into 5 different lines. We're all snorting this, boys. We're gonna snort this.
I think Americans would just go based on birthday, like whose birthday's next? Okay, go. Or like maybe it's behind the back, but that would take too many.
Well, Aussies are very much like they want everyone to be on the same level.
Oh yeah, no. Someone's getting it.
We're about to.
Someone's getting fucked up.
So I just have some quick stats for you for the healthcare.
Sorry. Wait, someone's getting fucked up. No, hold on. Before you continue. Sorry, I have to cut in because this has happened to me a billion times. I'll show up to like a bar. I'll have a few friends there, and they'll be like, "You're American. You can't drink." And I'm like, "Oh, I grew up here when I was 12." They're like, "You're an idiot. You don't know anything. We're better." And then the jugs would come out, and then I would prove myself, and they would be like, "You're fucking crazy, man."
What, foosball?
No. So Aussies like to basically tie you down and force you to drink booze. So basically the bar's like, everybody's out of here. You're all gone. They're all like, Seth, this jug is yours. And you're like, and groups of men will hold you down because you have to take one for the team. But if you wake up and you're like, whoa, let's keep drinking, boys. They're like, holy fucking shit. This guy is one of us. Guys, we were going to hit a strip club, but let's keep drinking. Because don't forget, strip clubs were allowed to only do 0.5%. So you have to be careful where you go. So you gotta get fucked up. And don't forget,
probably a good
club,
idea.
You don't want to be like, oh, it's just it's his birthday! Seth's birthday! And so if you can't compose yourself, like, good afternoon, we're here with a group of 10.
10? No, they're not.
Yes, they're all guys.
Yeah,
yes.
They're not wearing short shorts.
And the bouncers in Australia are a bit different. Like, you got money? Three of us. So the answer is yes.
We'll cover the other 6.
Or there's Party, and they're all like, "Come on in, you guys got cash?" Yeah, man, this fucking smash. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bachelor in the thing here.
The thing here.
And they're like, give him a 0.5% beer, he'll be fine. And then you're all fucked up, and you're like covered in women, and we're all like, I got a hand job upstairs. Did she have $50? Because I think I lost $50 when I was walking up the stairs. No, that's how much it costs. Every Aussie's like, I'll get you a beer. You're like, all right, sweet. You're like, oh, it's 3%. All right, yes. So Seth, before we go and
$50.
I just had a few quick stats on the healthcare. So just a quick Google between Australia versus USA healthcare. We'll come up with 1,000 different articles. We could spend a whole podcast on it, so I won't. But the average health spending per person in the USA was, in 2016, $9,892 compared to only $4,708 in Australia. So it's roughly, Australia spends about half of what the US spends per person. Yeah. And our outcomes are significantly better. I mean, I can't give you an exact quote because depending, it depends what you are ranking the outcomes on. But there is one article that says healthcare study ranks Australia second best in developed world. That was done by American researchers. So
there was one time where I was a waiter, like a piece of shit I was, in like a suit, and for some reason we had to stay in the room during a conference. They were like,
stand in a room?
Yeah, we were just like stand in case they're like, water, sparkling. And I'm like, yes sir. Because in Australia, you don't get hit, so you're a ghost. They don't be like, hey man, how you doing? They're all like, okay, the chicken. Nothing's being left at this table when we leave.
Chicken.
But
you just bring them chicken.
Yeah, you just bring them that, and if they complain, you're like, well, you're not gonna tip me, so there's no point. But what was I talking about?
Yeah, who knows, dude?
Who knows? I was talking about.
It was U.S. Australia healthcare.
Oh, healthcare, right. So I was standing in the back of this conference once, just standing there, like, just doing this job, and this dude gets up and he's like, we need to merge the American and Australian systems together. And everyone's like,
What?
And everyone's like, how do we do this? We have no idea. We have no idea. But it's a great idea. And everyone's like, oh yeah, oh man, amazing speech. We have no idea. So afterwards, the politicians all drank, and they all are like, yeah, it's the greatest. I'm serving them drinks, and I'm, listening to their conversations. Because, when you serve an Aussie a drink at 25 an hour, they're all like, wow, that's amazing. This beer just showed up in my hands. Thank God we paid $25,000 for the venue. I'm done now.
Yeah.
And you're like, if they're, so you get paid, so they don't tip, or if you're a chick, they're like, get in a photo, woo! But they were like, we need to combine systems, so now we do have the tax bracket now where you have to pay $300 now if you don't have private health insurance. But here's the problem. A lot of politicians have spoken out about, don't get private health insurance. Now, I'm going to be honest with you boys. There's a person who might be listening to this podcast, and that person's fingers might have been nearly severed through falling through a drunken incident. And the doctor being like, the reason with you guys, I'm in a party dress, I was out, I'm feeling great. She was hot as fuck, Asian, mini skirt. She was like, I was out, they called me in, give her a main job, and she's like, she's had so much Jack Daniels, I can't give her anesthetic. I don't have the staff to hold her down. So my friend, no joke, had them reattach the fingers there. Now I won't go into how the story began because it's fucking hilarious. She fell through a glass thing while trying to make out with a guy. Yeah, don't do it. If there's a glass table, don't try to do fellatio. Just just actually rework it. If it's a wood table, go for it. Because it's wood, but if it's glass, the odds are something's coming off.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm holding her.
Glass tables are just bad ideas.
Down, and the doctors are like, in mini skirts, like, here we go. So this is social medicine right now. No charge. It's free. Mm-hmm. No charge. And immediately, now, I went into the ER a few times. I took a friend of mine. So a friend of mine decided he had a breakup, and he moved into my house, and he was an awesome dude. But what he decided to do to drown his sorrows was, now he was the biggest drinker out of everyone, and if you meet a real true blue Aussie who's a big dude who plays footy, mate, I can drink that bottle, not a problem. So he decided to take it to the woman, show us how it's done. Jaeger, bottle, one go, boom. So he vomited for about three hours, then begged to go to the hospital as he turned white. Yes, the Skywalker, mate. So anyway, we show to the ER. Now, this is social medicine. The woman in front of us collapses on her feet and she's pregnant. There's 3 of us carrying this guy. Now, here's the problem. We were all drunk as fuck as well, because we assumed the night would be a long night, not a 10 o'clock this guy to an ER thing. Sorry, mate. Are you out of space, mate? You're out of space, aren't you, mate? Goddamn. Are you still recording?
Knocked it over.
Are you still recording? I'm sorry. So we take him in, and the doctors go, man, he's fucking drunk. What do you want us to fucking do about it? Give him some fucking water. And he's like, that's a fair enough call. So we left and he just got himself out the front. The end.
So you're saying water cures most things?
When I went to the ER recently, and
that's good social life health.
They told me that if you green out through pot, they'll throw you in the shower and charge you $10,000 and have a big laugh at you. Because you're tripping balls. Yeah. You probably won't remember 3 people in life going, this is the 10th one today. And you're like, oh man, I told you. Dude, it's still going on from out-of-staters. So they're spending time on cold showers, and they're like, you know that if you just drink some water and take a cold shower, your blood pressure you'll be fine. Yeah, they're all like, no, I'm gonna die. And they're all like, you don't eat edibles the first time in your life.
Just try not to eat too much.
So, Seth, before we get too high, we're going to conclude this podcast with the first one. What's your thought of social versus America?
Social
in terms of pot, in terms of marijuana distribution.
I mean, like, moving it across the state lines or country? What are you talking about?
Well, so, like, if Australia legalizes, they're going through their state-run medical? Is that what you're saying?
So, to clarify, they're going through a medical system, through social medicine, so you get a prescription. Now, the UN has allowed a trade route to open between many different routes between pot. Except for Colorado, it's mainly Canada.
But are you going to go to, like, Walgreens and get your eighth of weed?
So what will happen? Well, that's the whole thing. We don't know yet. This is the start. In Australia, we don't really have Walgreens. We have Priceline, which is through, Basically, yes.
So you're not going to a person like us.
You're going to.
I'm saying eventually.
Going to a pharmacy, and he gives you a massively locked bag.
I think we're asking the wrong question. I think it's not if, it's when. It's a question of, like, how long is it going to take for everyone to go wreck? Because I don't think, like, especially if it's got such a low mortality rate, like, you're not, like, legalizing it, you're not getting any tax money off of that, and in the coming day and age where, like, there's going to be a need for probably universal basic income at some point, and at some point there's going to be all sorts of different stuff that the government is going to have to pay for. So why not make that a market that is taxed? I think the same could be said about, certain kinds of different sexual things, all that, all the way down the line. Whatever.
Correct. They do need some kind of.
I think it.
Well, don't forget, it's that medical makes everyone feel kind of warm and safe inside, and then once it goes wreck, everyone's like, it's it's okay. It's the same with, you have to remember, is that alcohol was used to either drown your thoughts or, I mean, cannabis was originally in like a cough syrup with like cocaine and alcohol, so it's a medicinal thing. So it seems like the older generation feels more comfortable when it is an older,
it's got like
medical thing,
years and years and years and years of
yeah,
of like people already doing it and stuff,
exactly,
and
right.
that like matters to a certain group. So I definitely think that with time, it's just a question of time. It's like, how long is it going to take for everyone, because it's just like every generation that tries it and likes it and doesn't have a bad experience tells their next generation about it. And, all of a sudden,
exactly right.
It's like cut way down and everyone's voting for it. So, I think that it's, I would say in the next 20 years, I would expect
prescription?
I would say just rec.
Yeah.
Because you can, Colorado taxes it at like almost 25%. That's absurd. That's like 4 times anything else we tax.
Yes, but it's the mentality of be grateful.
Well, and it's still under your street value. Like, if you were to buy it at street value, it's still under. So, like,
it's very true.
All of a sudden, like, there's, like, no downside, really. Like, if you can tax it at 25% and get a quarter coming back to you for just, like, knowing about it,
that's true.
True. You just have some kind of, like, department or agency or whatever. I mean, you definitely employ them, but in the scheme of things, like, how much it makes, like, that's nothing.
The recreation side, Seth?
I mean, and then on top of that, you've got the med side.
To run those.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
It really is.
Definitely, but
and you can't claim taxes, transport taxes.
But if you're saying that you don't make any money on marijuana, you're like way off.
Yeah, you must be doing something wrong.
Yeah, like you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Learn how to use email or something. I don't know. You don't need couriers.
Though, man, it's like.
Well, yeah.
It's bad.
Oh, absolutely. But like the more we.
But you can still buy off someone else.
Yeah, like and it's like it's the strictest industry around right now. Like you loosen that up. Like if there's like even if you tax it so much. If you loosen some of those restrictions up, you could make even more. Like they could make even more, and then you could tax it more. I mean, like it just depends. Like you're in control of it, 100%. You decide. All of a sudden, it's a huge, like $1 billion market, and you decide where it goes.
Yeah.
Like literally, you're the all-seeing power. Like because it's a question of legality. Not like if you're in the sandwich business, it's not a question of if that that Italian sub is legal or not. Yeah. It's like it's just your sub has to be better than the next guy's sub.
Yeah.
But there you control it. It's it's an part inelastic market and an elastic model.
Once it starts to be able to transport across state lines, that's when I think everything is going to be changed. And I don't know if that'll have to be federally or if that's going to have to just be like if there's 4 states in a row they decided that it's okay to have cannabis in all of them. It doesn't matter which state it comes from.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because I don't know. I think that's when it's going to be big because you can grow pot anywhere.
Yeah.
I think the states are definitely going to be.
Yeah.
I think the states are definitely going to be the majority before Fed is. Yeah. Just because, in those, if the Fed's going to vote on it, those states probably have to be mostly voting pro it anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? There are some exceptions to that, but for the most part, that's going to be a thing. So it'll have to get, every year that we get a bunch of states that do, like Massachusetts recently has, Nevada, Oregon, all the West Coast states kind of thing. Yeah, I could see I could see Illinois and Minnesota kind of doing it. Yeah, Florida could do it.
Almost there, yeah.
I could see more East Coast states doing it. So it's just gonna be every voting period it getting voted up, and then once we get to sort of a critical mass of I would imagine 30 plus, it'll go. I mean somewhere between 20 and 30, obviously, but it's a question of where.
Well, boys, we're going to have to cut it there because we are hitting the 1 hour there. It's been a fantastic joy having you guys on. Thank you again, Don. Thank you again, Seth in Colorado. I really appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. Fist bump it.